So, we shall start with the smallest piece, which is brainstem. To be more specific, this is medulla, pons, and just a part of the midbrain. Okay, this is anterior aspect, posterior aspect. Okay, for the posterior aspect, okay, this is pons, this is medulla. In between them, we have the groove, which is pontomedullary groove. Okay, on the anterior aspect of the medulla, we have the anterior fissure, which is this one. This is olive. This is olive. Sorry, not olive. They are pyramids. This is olive, and this is olive. Somewhere over here. Okay. These are cranial nerves. Okay, which is supposed to emerge from pontomedullary groove, and this one is supposed to be 7th and 8th. Okay. This is pons. This is pontine pyramids. In between them you have a sulcus, which is basilar sulcus, and we don't have the basilar artery. Okay, you can notice the fibers which run posteriorly in order to form cerebellar pedunculus. Okay, this is what is rest of the midbrain. Okay, you can very easily notice the black thing, which is substantia nigra. Okay, this is cerebral peduncle, another one. Okay, and we are basically done on this piece of the brain. On the posterior aspect, okay, you can easily, this is pia mater, which is very thin. You can easily notice this rhomboid structure, which is in fact rhomboid fossa of the fourth ventricle. Okay, this is the inferior communication, which was supposed to be called obex. Okay, two lateral notches, and superiorly it's supposed to continue with the aqueduct of Silius. Okay, the cerebellar pedunculus are all cut. Okay, on the inferior aspect of the medulla, you can find the sulcus, which is called dorsal median sulcus. Okay, these are gracile and cuneate fibers which run towards cerebellum. Now, last class we did the external aspect of the brain, of the hemispheres. Okay, this is one of them. Okay, as I told you, we have three surfaces. We have medial surface, which is flat. We have lateral or superior lateral surface, which is convex, and we have the inferior surface, which is this one. Okay, we have an anterior pole, which is frontal, posterior pole, which is occipital. We have, it's supposed to stay like this. Mine. We have a superior margin and an inferior margin, which is almost circular. Okay, good. Now let's start with the which side you want?
Medial.
The flat one with the medial one. Okay. In the beginning of the last class, we said that we have three types of sulci, of grooves. Okay, first order, secondary, or second order, and third order. Okay, first order, I told you they are the deepest ones. For example, this one. Sorry. Okay, this is lateral sulcus. Okay, the lateral sulcus in fact starts over here on the inferior aspect. Okay, we have over here a space which is called the anterior perforated space. Okay, starts from here, crosses oblique the inferior surface. Okay, then reaches the superior lateral surface. Okay, at this level, it is going to have three parts: a posterior part, which is the longest and the deepest. Deep inside the lateral sulcus, you also find gray matter, meaning the surface of the brain. This is called, this lobe over here deep inside is called insula, island. This is posterior, elongation, posterior part of the lateral sulcus. You have a superior one and an anterior one. Okay? Good. Now, we have something more. We have a central sulcus, which basically you can easily find it. It's supposed to reach also the medial surface. So it starts from the medial surface and goes almost vertical. Okay. Now, among those, this one is the deepest. Okay. So this is central sulcus going like this and reaching a little bit of medial surface. So this is central. Okay. You have parietal occipital also. It occurs on the medial aspect and lateral aspect. So this is parietal occipital like this. This first order grooves will divide the surface of the hemisphere in lobes. Okay, lateral along with central, which is this one. Okay, and along with the parietal occipital, divide this hemisphere in frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Okay, good. You have second order grooves, which are these ones. Okay, which are going to divide the brain in, how do you call these? Gyri. Okay, and you have third order, like for example like this one. Okay, or smallest. Okay, which are going to divide the gyri in areas. Okay, all surface of the brain is numbered. Okay, in area, all the areas are numbered. Good. Now, let's start with this one. Okay, so this is the anterior pole posture. Okay, superior and inferior. Over here we also have part of the brainstem, thalamus and everything. Now, first let's talk about this one. Centrally, you will find a structure. It's a white matter structure, which is called corpus callosum. Okay, it has a rostrum, which is inferior and anterior. It has a genome. It has a body, and the largest part or the thickest part is called splenius. Okay, now from inside the hemisphere, you are going to see a white matter structure, which is this one, which is going to come this way. I'm going to bring the other hemisphere because you are going to see it. It's the fornix, okay, which at this level is going to have two columns. In between the fornix and corpus callosum, you will find a septum. This is what is the rest of the septum. It's called septum pellucidum. The hole over here inside, it's lateral ventricle. Okay, now, because we are over here, this structure over here is going to be thalamus. Okay, it's a large nucleus, and over here, just above it, but more lateral, it's the caudate nucleus. Okay, now, this is fornix also. So in between the fornix and the thalamus, you will find a foramen or an orifice. It's the foramen of Monro, through which third ventricle, which is this one, communicates with the lateral ventricle. You have two foramens like this for one lateral ventricle and for the opposite one. Okay? Now, something about third ventricle. This is thalamus. Okay? Just beneath it, this is hypothalamus. Okay? Hypothalamus, it's a cone-shaped structure. It's unique. Okay? It's not like thalamus, which is a paired structure. Okay? Now, so this is half of the third ventricle. So it's delimited by thalamus and hypothalamus. So this thing is okay, and this is runs towards pituitary gland. Okay, supposed to be somewhere over here. This is optic chiasma. This structure. Okay, supposed to be optic nerve crossing with the opposite optic nerve and forming the optic tract. Okay, the place where they cross, it's optic chiasma. It's half of it. Okay. Now, also because we're over here, this is pons, this is midbrain. Okay, this is part of the fourth ventricle, and this is the aqueduct. Okay, fourth ventricle communicating with the third. Okay, because you can see over here you have one collicle, the other collicle. This is inferior collicle, superior collicle. Okay, you're supposed to have four of them, meaning two on the opposite hemisphere. Okay, good. A structure you didn't encounter is this thing over here. Okay, It's called mammillary body.
It's called what?
Mammillary body. Okay, more about it in the lectures with Dr. Kirkulescu. Okay, so these were structures located in the middle of this surface. Now, this is corpus callosum. Just above it, you can see it, a groove. The groove is called groove or sulcus of corpus callosum. It's very easy to remember. Okay, meaning corpus callosum, above it, it's groove. Next, you will see a second order groove, which is supposed to be like this. This groove is called cingulate sulcus. So in between cingulate sulcus and sulcus of corpus callosum, meaning this gyrus, is called cingulate gyrus. Okay, very easy. The idea is that you have to remember it's that this cingulate gyrus narrows posterior to the splenius, so it's quite easy to see. It's very narrow over here, and continues on the inferior surface with this gyrus. Okay, the gyrus on the inferior surface is called parahypocampic gyrus. Parahypocampic. Hippocampus, it's part of the limbic system. Okay, you will do it in the lectures with Dr. Kirkulescu. Okay, so there are primitive reflexes like hunger, okay, thirst, sexual reflexes, okay. Sorry. Now, what is rest? I told you first find central. This is central. Okay, now central sulcus. It's quite easy to identify the central, okay? Just try to imagine you have to split the hemisphere in two equal halves, okay? A little bit towards posterior you will find central, always, okay? Now, if this is central, the gyrus over here is called paracentral lobule. Para meaning aside, something. Rest of the gyrus over here, it's called superior frontal gyrus. Very easy. Okay. Next, on this surface, it's the brain is supposed to stay like this in my head. Okay. So a horizontal structure over here, it's called calcarine sulcus. This one. This is parietal occipital. Okay. And this is central. Okay. In the calcarine sulcus, you will find visual areas. Okay, primary visual area and secondary visual areas, 17 to 19. Okay, now in between calcarine sulcus and parietal occipital, this structure is called cuneus. Okay, in between central and parietal occipital, meaning this area, you will describe it as precuneus. Okay, cuneus, precuneus. It's very easy to remember. Okay, cuneus, precuneus, paracentral, superior frontal gyrus, cingulate gyrus. Then you're done. Okay, we did schematics last class. Okay, so this is medial surface. Nothing else to know for the practical exam. For the practical, you have tags attached to this.
And also you have proper tracks.
Good. Now, let's move to the lateral surface. Okay, so the lateral surface, you have the following sulci. Lateral, okay, deep inside its insula. You have central, which is supposed to be this one we said, no, this one, sorry, this one we said. Okay. So what is in front of the central is frontal lobe, this big. Okay, you have parietal occipital, which is this one. Sorry, this one, and in between parietal occipital and central, you have parietal. Okay. Inferior, this is lateral. Inferior to the lateral, this part is temporal. Okay. Now, all these lobes, meaning frontal, temporal, and parietal, they are going to have second order sulci, okay, to delimit gyri. Okay, for the occipital, we don't have, we have gyri We have sulci, but they are not recognized by nominal anatomy. Okay, so just remember, just we have. So let's start with the frontal. This is, we said, central. I'm going to put my fingers like this. In front of it, like this one, you have precentral sulcus. Okay, so the gyrus over here is called precentral gyrus. Posterior to it, you have another one. It's post-central sulcus with a post-central gyrus. Okay, now for the rest of the frontal lobe, basically you have one sulcus, somehow like this, and suppose another one like this. Okay, you're supposed to have three gyrus: superior frontal gyrus, middle, and inferior. Just that. For the temporal, this is lateral. Okay, you're supposed to have one and second, like this, but it's supposed to continue like this. Meaning you're supposed to have superior temporal gyrus, middle temporal, and inferior. For the parietal occipital, it's quite easy. This is parietal occipital sulcus over here. I'm going to put my fingers in it. And central, we just said it's this one. No, central, we said it's this one. Okay, central and post-central. Okay, you have an intraparietal sulcus, which is anterior towards posterior. This one. So you have superior parietal gyrus, inferior parietal gyrus. And done with the superior lateral surface. Okay? For the inferior surface, first of all, you're supposed to remember two structures. This is optic chiasma. Okay, it's not part of this surface, and something else. This one, it's a nerve. It's a cranial nerve. It's a nerve which you can notice do not reach brainstem. Okay, which nerves do not reach brainstem? Number 1 and 2. Olfactory, number 1. Number 2, optic. Okay, so this surface, the inferior surface of the brain, it's divided by this lateral sulcus into parts. An anterior part, which belongs to the frontal lobe, and the posterior part, which belongs to the temporal and occipital. For the anterior surface, for the anterior part, okay? First of all, olfactory nerve, medial to which lies in the olfactory groove, obviously. Okay? Medial to it, it's the olfactory gyrus. Quite easy. Let's put the nerve back. And for the rest of the surface, you have to imagine a capital H sulcus, meaning 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 gyri. All of them are called frontal or orbital. Orbital because they lie above orbital cavity. Okay, so you have anterior frontal or orbital gyrus, posterior frontal or orbital gyrus, medial frontal or orbital gyrus, lateral frontal or orbital gyrus. Done with the surface. It's very easy. For this part, okay, I'm going to have, we said, and we said that this is parahippocampic gyrus. Okay, clear? Now, it's separated. This is going to be on this surface. You're supposed to have cingulate. Cingulate. We're supposed to cingulate sulcus. Okay, and on this surface, okay, the most distal part of the sulcus, which delimits the parahippocampic, is called rhinal sulcus. Rhinal referring to the nose. This anterior part of the parahippocampic, it's called uncus. Okay. Now, rest of the surface, meaning this part, is divided in two by this sulcus, somehow like this. Okay. In lateral temporal occipital gyrus, medial temporal occipital gyrus. And we are done. Okay.